St. Francis School of Physics itself. And thereafter, I did my graduation in law from Guru Nanak Dev University. And then I did my master's from Rajendra National University of North. Amritsar, it's a very holy city and it has a historical importance because it has many of places of historical importance like Golden Temple. Then we have Jallianwala Bagh, Wagah Border, Grand University, Khalsa College, and many other historical places.
There are three parts of Punjab. Malwa, Madhya, Lahore. Which area Amritsar falls?
So it falls in Majha area.
In
Majha area.
Madhya.
When was the constitution adopted?
Sir,
The Constitution was adopted on 26th of November 1949. So, but the enforcement of the same, some of the provisions were enforced on the same day, but the rest of they were enforced on 26th of January 1950.
6th of January 19.
Yes, sir.
What is the decree?
Sir, decree, it is according to section 2 clause 2 of the CPC. It is a formal adjudication of a dispute whereby the that is deciding that matter, it conclusively determines the rights of the parties.
What is the res judicata?
So res judicata, according to section 11 of the Code of Civil Procedure 1908, it is whenever a court has already decided a matter conclusively, then it is a kind of we can say a prohibition on the trial of the same matter again.
What is estoppel?
Sir, estoppel, it is the prohibition on the parties when they have initially they had made a statement or given some evidence or something like that. Then the parties are stopped from again taking up the same matter or from denying the things they have already asserted.
Should we bring in UCC?
Yes, sir, definitely.
Why?
So since like we have from the very beginning we have uniform criminal codes, criminal code in place. Now the time has come like all the personal laws they should also be uniform. They should be uniformity in them also, in order to ensure equality and to obviously that is also one of the we can say a fundamental right in the constitution. So that would be giving actually a practical aspect to the fact of the fundamental rights of the constitution.
What to do with different religious ceremonies required for marriage and succession and inheritance?
Sir, the thing is, when UCC will be implemented, it will not be actually affecting the typical religious rights. Like if we are like in sex, we are going for anantkarij for marriage, and Muslims are going for nikah and Christians also. Now the UCC will not say that people are supposed to go for nikah or like that. It will just say like it is going to make mandatory the registration of marriage. Then that would be uniformly applicable on all that. So it is not on the religious front.
Only for registration of marriage, UCC is required.
No, sir, it was just an example, not the whole scenario. Sir, it's like we have succession laws whereby many of the personal laws they are differentiating between men and the women with respect to rights. Like for example, in Muslims we have like women have been given half of the share as compared to the male counterparts. So that can be that can be given a
But
uniformity.
all our laws are respecting and recognizing the customs.
Yes, sir. Sir, the thing is the customs will
Yes.
Sir, the typical customs will not be affected, but where there is like
The UCC about customs are not to be affected, marriage is not to be affected, succession is not to be affected. What is UCC then?
so the thing is we have to bring in uniformity on the like
What?
say in what like we have the differences that have been there with respect to the difference between man and women rights that can be uniform.
Only that is succession and what else?
So these are the basic rights that we affected. Like in Muslims, we have this the bigamy, the polygamy problem that would be solved with it. That would be actually giving the it will be upholding the rights of the women.
And what about marital rape? Should it be criminalized?
Sir, it should be because like the same offense, we should not discriminate. We should not victimize a woman just because of her marital status. Like we are making rape as an offense with respect to unmarried women, and at the same time, we are not making it an offense for.
So then you want to suggest that we should not differentiate between your wife and any other woman.
That is what practically it means.
Technically it means that it would amount to like taking consent for every times like and that would actually give rise to more of matrimonial disputes. Yes. Yes sir. Yes. Yeah, so that would actually give rise to more problems. It is not. Sir, I would like to suggest like it should not be more of a sexual abuse kind of thing, and it can be like it is not like we are saying that we have to take a sanction or application for the same. Like there can be like implied consent of thing, but it should not be a sex.
You are doing the marriage is implied consent. But you say criminalize it. Yeah. You are doing the implied consent. Some safeguards you have in mind or
So safeguards like as in it should not be a sexual abuse kind of thing where the things get violent. That could be criminalized. Like we have already in domestic violence act.
Can offense of rape be committed in case of a dead woman?
Sir, sir, there is some concept, but I'm not able to recall it right now.
No, it cannot. It will amount to offense under a separate section, that is 297, not offense of rape.
Okay, sir.
Can third gender commit rape?
Yes, sir. So within the definition of section 375, it is like, but the word used is a man over there, but the third gender is does not fall within the definition of a man. Like, typically, a male human being.
No, no. What? How we can find out that he is a third gender? Because only when you know that it is a third gender, then this question comes whether he can commit rape or rape can be committed with regard to that. Third gender, that is at the time of birth,
What gender has been
gender is given, whether it's the male or female. He becomes third gender only after getting some maturity. When he starts showing orientation towards a different sex, which was originally given to that person at time of birth. So if it is a female gender, third gender, female, then rape can be committed against her. If it is a male, third gender, he can commit rape. So
So
it depends on what status he has at the time of birth. If it is a
actually,
male,
I
then he can commit. If it is a female, then it can be committed against her.
I was actually thinking about the point from Unix part, like hijiras. I was thinking about them. Like I
so
thought, like we were
are
asking.
humans actually. Actually,
Yes,
I would like to continue from where
yes,
Shah
sir.
has left. Tell me the landmark judgment wherein third gender was recognized by Honorable Supreme Court.
The it was National Legal Services Authority's judgment, I suppose. I'm not sure.
There is a special act passed
So,
giving right to them.
so yes,
These
sir.
are
So there's Transgenders Persons Act. They are being provided rights over there.
What kind of sections have they been recognized by the Supreme Court? Are they weaker sections? Do they deserve reservations as a kind of affirmative action from the state?
Sir, they are like in that particular judgment, it was recognized that they should be they should be given specific reservations also. Like in every like we do full forms, and initially there was just ban for women, and now it's been like third gender columns are also been there. Then there also in jobs and educational upfront they are being given reservations. Then all these like they are so there has to be separate washrooms for them. Now in the act itself, they mentioned that they do have a right to residence also. If they want to stay like in their parents' home, they can.
As per the Act.
Yes, sir.
Okay, you referred to about the National Legal Services Authority judgment. Can you tell me, under what act does this National Legal Service Authority has been established in India?
So I suppose it is the same. The name of the act is also
Under which
National.
act this authority has been set up?
So the National Legal Services Authorities Act itself.
Tell me the year.
So I don't know the year.
In pursuance of what interpretation of the Constitution this act has been enacted? Any provision somewhere in the Constitution? which
So it is under
directs the state to
yes,
make.
Article 39, Article 39A, which says that free legal services have to be provided to the ones who are not able to represent themselves.
39A, Somali capitalism,
Capitalism.
introduced by which amendment?
So it was introduced by 42nd Amendment Act 1976.
Okay. So, see, it is said that the main function of judiciary is to uphold rule of law in the
Yes.
country. Can you tell me what is the biggest threat to rule of law in the present circumstances, even in, let's say, throughout the world, even in India as well? Which is the greatest threat to rule of law?
Threat to rule of law. So I could not specify it. So,
Continue.
There's this concept of burden of proof, right?
yes.
There's this new concept of reverse burden of proof. You have any idea what you
It is like burden of proof is when a party has to prove a fact. Like according to section 101 and 102, we have in case of plaintiffs and defendants who are to supposed to prove. Then once a party has proved certain fact, then the burden lies on the another party. And reverse burden, I suppose, like that the act of socioeconomic in case of socioeconomic offences, whereby we presume the guilt of accused person. Otherwise, the general rule is that we presume innocence of accused person until he's proven guilty. And in case of reverse burden of proof, might be it is like when the person, like in case of NDPS or POXO, we are presuming his guilt and he has to prove the same.
what is word eye test?
Uh, Ma'am, I don't know.
Falses in no, falses in omnibus, increase in
False is in false is in omnibus means something which is false in one aspect has to be false in whole of the aspect. Now this is not a rule of law that's been accepted in India. Means if a person's evidence or testimony is it is false in one respect, then that is not that whole of his testimony has to be discarded. It can be given certain can be given certain weightage if it is being corroborated by other evidences.
what is the difference between testimony of an accomplice and confession of a co-accused?
Could you please repeat the question? Could you please repeat the question?
What is the difference between testimony of an accomplice and confession of a co-accused?
So, ma'am, testimony of accomplice, like we have section 133 of the Indian Evidence Act, which says that if an accomplice has given some evidence, now that can be relied upon without corroboration. In case of confession of co-accused, that is under section 30 of the Indian Evidence Act, we says that whereby the two persons are being held in, they are being given joint trial for the same offence. Then in that case, the confession of a co-accused could be relied upon for the purpose of conviction of the other accused.
Okay, and no other difference?
I could not like, specify that now.
Okay, what is compulsive bail?
Yes, sir. Tell me the importance of Amritsar.
Sir, Amritsar,
Tell five Takht names.
Sir, Akal Takht Sahib, Shri Akal Takht Sahib, Shri Keswar Sahib, Shri, I could not read this, sir.
Damdama Sahib, Patna Sahib, Huzur Sahib.
Who laid the foundation stone of the sacred server
Sir, our full Sikh Guru Shri Guru Ram Das.
by the hands of
Sir, by Sai Mia.
what was your topic of dissertation? LLM?
So it was domestic violence, a socio-legal study.
So, according to you, what is the conclusion with regard whether the living should be given equal status as that of the marriage?
Sir, as was held in by the Honorable Supreme Court in D. Velusamy versus D. Pachimal case, that every kind of living should not be recognized as a marital, like as a marital relationship. It should they kind of set up certain guidelines for recognizing what kind of relationship should be included. Like they should have stayed together for a continuous period of time. The society should have perceived them as
So, that
husband
should
and
be
wife.
given a status equal to marriage or not?
Sir, they should be given like
So
now
generally
the
that should be given.
yes, sir.
Muslim law also
So I'm not sure, sir.
given a hesitation on that topic. What is the status of the children, legitimacy of the children born in the living relationship?
Sir, according to the
Because
same,
already one other person is already married.
sir, if we go by the judgment of this Velusamy, it says that like, the children who are born out of a living relationship, they are legitimate and they are supposed to inherit all. Sir, if they fulfill the criteria that's been laid down in the judgment.
They will fall under section 16 of HMA also.
Yes, sir. Sir, they will.
16 provides for what? HMA.
So for sir, legitimacy of children out of void and voidable marriages.
That living relationship is what is avoidable.
It is not a marriage at all. It is not a marriage actually. Living.
Marriage. All right. First of all, your positive points. You are very well dressed, very well behaved, and your motivation is good. And, consider not putting this small button if you feel uncomfortable with
Okay, sir.
the button. Then we find a little stress on your face. Why?
Maybe the nervousness, sir.
Why nervousness?
Like sir, पूरे पैनल में देख के शायद सर थोड़ा जा.
You're not that beautiful.
No, 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 not like that. मतलब सर थोड़ा जा.
It makes a difference from which side of the door you are.
Yes, sir.
So you should feel relaxed. You know?
Otherwise, your
Actually, this is my consistent problem. Like,
Stress should not
I'm
reflect.
not able to give like I try to when I before entering I am like fully prepared that I have to give a little smile, but when I am here, I am not able to do that.
You have to work on it because it gives impression that either you are not fully prepared or you are not confident about the answers you are giving.
Yes.
So you have to wipe out this stress from your face, right?
do not know the date is wrong. The importance of that and all that. It's a Masai, it is a well-known area.
You didn't mention Jallianwala.
And
You should have mentioned Jallianwala Bagh.
Durgyana temple.
sir asked me.
Jallianwala Bagh, Durgyana temple.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, I skipped mentioning
But
that.
then any other industry for which Amisha is famous, industry or let us say cottage industry also, for papads and all that. You
Yes.
could have mentioned it. That is cottage industry famous.
And there is a place called Ram Tirth, just
Ji, sir.
nearby, which is also a very important place. You know? And then we have Wagah border.
Yes, sir.
These are also important places in or around this Verka.
Yes, sir.
Supplies milk to the entire vicinity.
Yes,
Everywhere. You know?
How many litigations are there? It is the High Court,
I don't know, sir.
it is Supreme Court.
Sir, it is 3, I think.
ये हाथ को भी थोड़ा ना इनको हैंड्स को थोड़ा रिलीज करके रखो
Yes, sir.
चाहे ऐसे रखो या ऐसे रखो ऐसे आइडियली आप ऐसे रखो इनको
Like this, sir.
ताकि लगे कि आप कहीं भी स्ट्रेस आपकी बॉडी में रिफ्लेक्ट नहीं होना चाहिए है ना
Okay.
और वो स्माइल वाली बात आप ध्यान रखना एक जजमेंट्स हैं 15-20 कुछ बेसिक स्ट्रक्चर पे हैं कुछ जजेस की अपॉइंटमेंट्स पे हैं है ना नार्को टेस्ट पे है डीएनए पे है एक उसमें है इंफॉर्मेशन टेक्नोलॉजी एक्ट पे है ये सारी जजमेंट्स पढ़िए और इस पे जरूर काम करना स्ट्रेस पे है ना ऑल दी बेस्ट थैंक
So, like, I can keep my hands like this also. Like, I'm more comfortable. Like,
रिलैक्स आप ऐसे रखें लेकिन रिलैक्स करने चाहिए देखना वाले अगर आप यूं करके रखोगे
yes, sir.
तो उससे आपका स्ट्रेस रिफ्लेक्ट होता है ना
So, एक मैंने पूछना था, the color of the dress is okay. Like, this is my final.
हाँ इट इज ओके
And one thing like enter sir, so जो wish करनी ਹੁੰਦੀ sir ਉਹ ਕਿਵੇਂ ਮਤਲਬ ਜਿਵੇਂ ਇੱਕ ਮੈਮ ਅਗਰ ਬੈਠੇ ਆ ਉੱਥੇ ਤਾਂ ਗੁੱਡ ਮਾਰਨਿੰਗ ਮੈਮ ਕਹਿ ਦਿੱਤਾ ਬਾਕੀ ਸਾਰਿਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਮਤਲਬ ਕਿਵੇਂ ਇੰਡੀਵਿਜੂਅਲੀ ਕਰਨੀ ਹੈ ਮਤਲਬ ਕਲੈਕਟਿਵਲੀ
You are supposed to do it.
बैठे होगी 8 बार बोलोगे एक ही गुड मॉर्निंग काफी है ना
एंड सर ਜਿਵੇਂ ਫਾਈਲ ਵਗੈरह कैरी करनी कोई ਜ਼ਰੂਰੀ ਹੈ
नो जनरली नहीं कभी बात नहीं
Verification has already been done.
ऑलरेडी
जी.
होगी
But like we are also supposed to take the documents over there also.
डॉक्यूमेंटेड आप डेजर्टेशन डॉक्यूमेंट भी लेके जाना, बाकी डिपेंड करता है वो चीजें ले जाना अपने साथ।
But I don't think so they allow inside.
नहीं इनसाइड दे वॉन्ट
Sometimes they
अलाउ,
allow.
तो बाहर भी
Sometimes
आपसे
like
चेक करेंगे
people.
बाहर ही रखना।
Yeah.
रखते हैं, अंदर भी।
Okay.
ये जो ये आपका पोजीशन है ना हैंड्स वो ठीक नहीं
नहीं सर वे पहले तो ऐसे ही था official.
है।
डेजर्टेशन अच्छे से करो, उसी के रिलेटेड था पॉइंट। वो हिंदू लॉ और मिक्स है चीजें, हिंदू मुस्लिम लॉ और सारे पे एप्लीकेबल है, उसको अच्छे से रिवाइज करो।
I think you were not letting them complete their question. You were interrupting in between. So make sure that you let them complete their question and then answer.
ओके थैंक
Sir, it's a question which has led to rule of law answer. So we
Shatu?
rule of law, sir.
Of course, the system of tribunal, preventive detention. When you are being hold up in a prison without being, liable for committing crimes, is the biggest threat. Biggest threat is preventive detention law that we have present. Even Punjab state has left this preventive detention law against Patwari's, I suppose, this month. This is preventive detention.
Otherwise,
ये move कर।
ये MIQ
माइक प्लीज।